Hello, this is Barney from Napalm Death, sort of a singer, and you're watching Domination TV. Being dominated.
Well, as you love to play with words and love words, that's what I've been told. What does domination as a word mean to you?
Domination as a word. Well, the literal meaning, of course, is someone that's being entirely controlled by someone else. So that's the literal interpretation, and yeah, well, it means the same thing to me, I guess. In general terms, probably, the world has a great imbalance to it. There are power structures that mean that some people get all the power and other people get very little. So that's what domination is.
And I guess it's not even possible to talk with you about not talking about politics.
Well, I mean, you could take the word politics out, really, because this is common sense, really. I mean, you say politics to a lot of people and they get kind of instantly bored, and understandably so, because politics, really, a lot of people think about is the way the mainstream runs, the way the people really that we're talking about, the people at the top. That's how they play their games, but obviously the sort of stuff that I talk about has very little in common with those kind of power structures, so it's different, and it's more about humanity, really, than anything else, challenging conventions and that sort of thing.
And not something that's happening behind the closed doors or anything like that. It's like everyday choices.
No, that's the whole point of trying to break down doors, not put up more doors, So.
If one doesn't give their vote on elections, is it, do you find it's pathetic and being lazy, or is it a statement, not voting?
It's only pathetic and lazy for those that are protective of the system, of propping up the system. Saying no to voting is showing your displeasure with the power structures or the people that might be in place at the time. It's an absolute right not to vote, because why should you believe in a system, wherever that might be around the world, that you think isn't to some degree corrupt and misrepresentative of people in general? Why would you want to endorse that in any way, by putting an X in one box somewhere? You have perfectly within your rights, to say no. And no one, it makes me laugh, all these rock the vote campaigns and stuff. Well, if this one thing and this thing and this thing and none of them have any kind of redeeming features to you, why would you want to endorse even one of them,
But can you actually make a difference without not voting?
If enough people don't vote, then yes, because that shows a deep resistance to the system. I mean, the thing is, the way governments are run nowadays, everything evolves in time, and I think maybe there's going to come a time where a large percentage of the population of the world realises that the current political systems are outdated and ineffective, and that we move on to something else, something that's more representative of people at all levels, than what we have now. It's a very distinct possibility, and if things keep happening the way they are, then that's going to accelerate, I think, at some point. So.
And this is a universal phenomenon.
Well, yeah, because government is government. Yeah, there are many different strains, but essentially they all form the same, they all go round in similar ways, So, yeah, I think there will be a drastic change at some point, and hopefully a very refreshing change,
Is it much easier to write lyrics in extreme music about against something than pro something?
Well, no, because I always I do a lot of stuff that's anti, but it's always illustrating a point. The positive is the ultimate aim. which is, I guess, if you wanted to put it generally, is like peace, tolerance, equality, you know, all that sort of stuff. So that's the ultimate aim, you know. And I think the problem is that because you could argue that there are more negatives than positives, because the people that do hold the power structures, well, that's where all the negatives come from. And also you could say that we, on the other end, if you like, have very little power right now, so therefore you're always going to use a high percentage of negatives, but the ultimate aim is to always have the positive, you know. So.
Don't you ever get sick and tired of pointing out these things that are, you know, wrong in religion, politics? Do you ever get run out of inspiration?
No, because, you know, in effect, a lot of the things that were relevant in 1989 when I first joined are still relevant now. Exactly the same things. You know, stuff like that doesn't go away. It's always there in one form or another, and it's always ready to come along to attach itself to a new situation. So, no, I don't get sick and tired of it, because I'm of the mind that I just always had a deep opposition towards that sort of stuff since I was very, very, very young, you know. Like injustice and stuff like that, if you want to speaking generally, I couldn't abide it, you know. I thought it was just really sickened me to think that some people would get continually exploited all the time, you know. I just found it very, very sort of very disheartening, you know. It made me quite sad in some ways, you know. So.
As an atheist, I assume you're an atheist.
Yes.
I guess you don't believe in 7 deadly sins as the way as the religion teaches, but what is the most ultimate sin one can do?
I don't believe in the concept of sin, because sin is only an interpretation made by one person in judgment of another, you know. So you have to start at a starting point and do things that are right for yourself, you know. A moral code is a real is a real. I'm searching for the word now. Moral codes are things that take us away from ourselves. You know, they make us believe that we can't believe in ourselves. So we need this third way, you know, to justify our existence. But I'm saying no, because you can take that back, and you are yourself, and you have the abilities. You are equipped as an evolved machine, as emotions and biomechanical responses. You are perfectly capable of deciding for yourself, you know. So there is no sin as far as I'm concerned. There's things that I think are against humanity, like violence, state-sponsored or otherwise, and stuff, but that's not a moral judgment. You know, that's not a moral judgment, and there is a difference, you know.
Well, then a couple of questions about, you know, touring and the band life. How do you keep in shape these days, or is it just touring enough that you are, you know, running around the States like a madman for now? Yeah, is this enough for an exercise?
No, it's not actually, because just lately I've started to feel a bit sort of it's hurt a lot more on stage. It's nothing to do with age. It's just the fact that I've been a little unprepared lately in one way or another, but I'm going to fix that, you know. I mean, for me personally, what works for me on tour is, I mean, I'm vegetarian anyway, so I've probably got a good head start in terms of health, you know. I don't smoke at all. That's always a good thing. I don't drink on tour, and that's always a good thing specifically for me, because alcohol just drives me out. At home's fine, 3 or 4 drinks, you know, here and there, but not on the road, man. It's not conducive to a good gig, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Not what happens around it, but it's the 60+ minutes on stage that kids pay their money to come and see, you know. So yeah, whatever I do is personal to me. It doesn't work for everyone, but it works for me, you know. So, but yeah, it is. But you are right in one sense that playing a lot of nights, your body adjusts to playing. But you do need that extra bit of help, I find, you know. So.
Thanks for us.
Thank you very much. Yeah.